In this video, I'm going to talk about how to change your circumstances by changing yourself. So reality, or the life you're living, is a reflection of you. The world doesn't give you what you want. It shows you who you are. So if you want to change your circumstances, the number one thing you should be doing is changing yourself. So the life you have right now is basically a culmination of every single thing you've done, thought of, or felt like up to this point. And if you don't continue to change and evolve, you're going to keep repeating the same exact thing over and over. So I don't know if you have thought about this, but a lot of people, they keep running into the same problems. Maybe they'll move, or they'll begin a new job, or they'll start doing something somewhere else, but the same things continue to happen to them. So the way people work, typically if you're working on, who you are, in cognitive behavioral therapy, there's a triangle. So on one point would be behaviors, on the second point would be thoughts, and on the third point would be emotions. So if you work on one of these things, you kind of change the other two. You can begin by working on the thing that's easiest for you. If you think of like the law of attraction, think better thoughts. You could call that the thought portion of the triangle. If you think about, Dr. Phil, he always says behave your way to success. That's the behavior part of the triangle. And the emotional part, I feel like that's a lot of enlightenment stuff. It's a lot of what I work with on myself. I think it's the most powerful point of the triangle, but that's just my opinion. So today I'm going to talk about behaviors. So having a routine of positive behaviors is the key, because motivation is so unpredictable. You usually just kind of go on autopilot. I think I read that 95% of what people do is basically just their habits, their autopilot. So you really want to get your autopilot in a place where it's being productive. So getting that structure in your life, if you want to change your behaviors, is probably the thing you should be working on. So if you change your behaviors and make them more positive, you'll also change your thoughts and emotions. So for example, if you're in a routine of eating well and going to the gym and meditating, for example, your thoughts and emotions will be healthier just because of the lifestyle change. You'll probably feel more accomplished, especially if it was hard to get yourself moving throughout the day, but still being able to do it. You'll be more calm and more able to be satisfied with yourself. And it will probably change the way you view yourself. Like maybe your self-concept will be raised, or, your worthiness, or, whatever it is. You'll just feel better about who you are, especially if you continue this for a while. So it may seem impossible to do that. I know I can just show up and say, why don't you eat well, exercise, and meditate every day, and then you'll feel so much better. But it may seem really hard and impossible. But don't stress out about that, because your muscle to even get up and start moving productively is probably what needs the most work. So if you can go from a state of being completely unmotivated and know in your mind you want it to be more productive, you can ask yourself, like, what can I do for 2 minutes? If I'm going to dedicate 2 minutes only, that's all I'm going to promise myself because I'm feeling so unmotivated, what is something I can do for 2 minutes that is something I wanted to do? That is something that will make me feel better, that will make me feel accomplished. And even that doing that 2 minutes is it's very beneficial, basically, for your ability just to get up and start doing something. So how do you know what to do? You should ask yourself what you're not doing that you should be doing. And if you sit down and really want to know and allow an answer to come through, that will be a huge step in fulfilling maybe your life's purpose or something that's important to you. And if it's too hard, if it seems overwhelming, like sometimes I know I should be cleaning my house and I can't do it. It's too messy. But if I just break it down into small chunks, okay, well, what can I do? Well, I can do my dishes, right? And I'll even just start there, and that can be my only goal for the day. And I'll be totally happy if that's all I do. But I notice as I start, I'll just kind of keep going. And if I don't want to, then that's fine. This is just my life unfolding naturally. And if my house is messy for a while, that's just going to be the way it is. So how can you break it down into small chunks? And then what portion can you work on until you're ready to work on more? So if you have something big in mind that you really want to do, if you make it small, and maybe there's things you're just not like emotionally ready for. There's things you don't even want to think about yet. Just do what you can. Just start. And it's like the dishes, right? Just start, and maybe you'll do more, and maybe you won't, and it doesn't matter. There's no time limit. There's no win or lose. It's just you giving yourself the life that you want at the speed that you can go, and it's fine. Everything is fine. So there's something I heard that I really like, and it's basically if you were on the ocean steering a ship and you move the wheel 1 degree to the left or right, in 30 years, you'll end up in a different continent. So each decision you make, each positive decision or negative, is moving the steering wheel. And if you can just move it, and if you can just stay willing to move it in a positive direction more often, you'll have positive things happen more often. And if you do it a little bit, maybe in 30 years, you'll end up in a different continent. And as you get stronger, you'll be able to do more and more and take on more and more and possibly get things to start happening faster. So to recap, I'm talking about structuring your life with built-in habits, so that when you go into autopilot, which you will, 95% of the time, you will still be headed in the direction that you want to go, that will fulfill your life purpose, your passion, or what you think is important. And remember, it's okay to start exactly where you are, and there is no shame in self-improvement. Thank you.